Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Paytm Money Talk. And today's show, we got a very interesting topic today. And the topic is slightly different, and it is all about financial freedom and retirement at the age of 50. Now, when you talk about retirement or being at the age of 50, that is probably one of the very sweetest spot in one's life because most of the struggles of lives are over. Career wise, you are settled. Financially, you have made your investment. Probably, you might have, created a good corpus. Most of the other responsibilities, your children might have already grown up. They have, almost finished their education. You have already got your house. Most of the things are taken care of. So ideally, that is the situation. But the practically reality could be slightly different. Person to person, somebody, because of the volatility, because of the turmoil, because of maybe some wrong financial decision at some point of time, ideally, if they, practically that situation may not be exactly what we have discussed. So today we are going to talk exactly about how one can, prepare at the age of 50 towards his retirement, towards a good retirement life, to be a financially free life, right? So I'm Neeraj Gogoi, your host for the talk, and today we are going to discuss on this topic, and we have got a very interesting guest, and I'm going to introduce him slightly later. But before that, I'd like to tell you that this talk is powered by Paytm Money. Okay, welcome back. So our guest today is Mr. Peshotan Dastoor. He is a group president and head sales at UTI. Now, he has got more than 25 years of experience in the financial market, and recently he have celebrated his birthday last week. So he have crossed 50. So who is a better person than him to talk about our financial freedom or financial life and how to prepare at the age of 50 financially towards our retirement? So it's a great pleasure to have Pesi with us today, and I request him to join the show. Good afternoon, Pesi.
Hey, good
And
evening, Neeraj, and thank you very much for having me on the show again. And it's an absolute pleasure. And yes, I turned 50 exactly on Sunday last. So we are right up, in conversation with a prime example of hoping to retire, and still talking to you.
absolutely, and wish you a belated happy birthday, and wish you a great
Thank
time
you.
ahead. And
Thank you
I'm
very much.
sure it's going to be a great conversation today.
Thank you.
So, Pasi, the
Absolutely.
first part, we always start with discussing the market a little bit. Of course, our topic today is retirement planning, but we cannot resist asking you that question कि कैसे लग रहा है आपको मार्केट 24? हम लोग लास्ट कुछ दिनों में काफी सारा वॉलेटिलिटी देखे हैं मार्केट में, स्विंग्स देखे हैं. So how it is poised? Is it the same it was that 1 month back, or it has changed? So first off, how do you think 24 looks like at this point?
So, Neeraj, let me put it this way.
हाँ जी.
Um, okay, and let me give you two analogies in this. The first
Mhm.
point I'll make is that India is a great growth story. Okay. And there are a variety of factors that are coming together, which is making a good story great. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And there are multiple, subjects which have often been spoken on different platforms, including yours, which tell you that for the next 10, 15, 20 years, India remains structurally a great economy, and you have to participate in this growth story. You have to contribute in this growth story. And the best way to participate is through the equity markets. Perfect. So market कैसा लग रहा है? If the growth story is looking great, whether it's
Mhm.
manufacturing, whether it's consumption, whether it is financial markets, whether it is any kind of services industry, the agrarian economy, each and every segment is looking good and is poised to do well. Perfect. Now, the economy and the markets are correlated and connected, where the markets are a slave to earnings. Perfect. We understand that also market is nothing but a reflection of the earnings. When the market is in a buoyant mood and sees a lot of money coming into it, what we land up seeing is that a lot of the future earnings get discounted very, very quickly. So let me cut the financial jargon and make it simple. नीरज, इंडिया में इकोनॉमी बढ़िया है. हम त्योहार बहुत सारे मनाते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग दिवाली, राइट?
हाँ
हर
जी.
दिवाली जब आती है, हम मिठाई बांटते हैं, हमें मिठाई मिलती है, और बहुत सारी मिठाई हम बैठ के खाते हैं, राइट? अब ऐसा कई बार होता है कि आपने अगले 2-3 दिवाली की मिठाई आज ही खा ली, यही दिवाली में खा ली.
ओके. हम्म.
ओके. अब दो चीजें हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगले बार दिवाली नहीं आएगी, जरूर आएगी. ओके. द इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज poised फॉर ग्रोथ, and structurally it has got various things in place.
हम्म.
But अगली बार जब दिवाली आई और मिठाई नहीं बटी, ओके, क्योंकि वो दिवाली की मिठाई आपको पहले ही बट चुकी थी, फिर
हम्म.
आपको रोना नहीं चाहिए. फिर इन्वेस्टर, निवेशक बन के आपको निराश नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई दिवाली आई पर मिठाई कहाँ है. ओके. Exactly the point I'm making is
हम्म.
that if returns have come in advance in certain segments of the market before time,
हम्म.
in anticipation of faster or higher levels of earnings, when those earnings play out, but returns don't, investors shouldn't get disappointed. In the interim, you will definitely see a lot of this volatility. The second theme that I can call out of this market is I'd like to call it the theme of the great rotation. Okay. And we have seen this happen repeatedly that एक लहर चलेगी जिसमें मिड कैप या स्मॉल कैप चलेंगे. फिर ऐसा नहीं है कि वो गिर जाते हैं, बट ऐसा है कि
हम्म.
रोज इतने बढ़ चुके हैं, जब वक्त निकलते जाता है और रिटर्न नहीं आता है. वो क्यों नहीं आता है? क्योंकि उसका जो रिटर्न था वो तो पहले ही बढ़ चुका, वो मिठाई पहले ही बढ़
हम्म.
चुकी. Money then starts flowing to other areas that have not done well. So let me give examples. Consumption as a theme has not done well till recently. Large cap as a capitalization has not done well till recently.
हम्म.
If you compare certain sectors, which have suddenly opened up in the economy, say defense and defense manufacturing and Indianization of defense manufacturing, are sectors which have opened up but have run up immensely. PSU stocks is again
हम्म.
another example. Now, I'm not saying, oh, because they've run up, they should fall. All I'm saying is that when incremental money keeps coming in, value and valuations may appear for investors in other segments. Okay. And that's the rotation that you will see. Value as a style of investing has done exceedingly well in the last 3 years from February 21. Growth or quality as a style has not done well in the last
हम्म.
3 years. You
हम्म.
might see that rotation. So, the two
हम्म.
themes that I'll leave behind with the audience in opening remarks as far as the markets go is one, uh, don't let the last 1 year set expectations for every year, because the valuations are definitely not cheap everywhere. Incremental monies, which is point number two, will chase opportunities and value in things that have not worked, in businesses that have done well, but their stock prices haven't. And that great rotation will continue to be playing out in the marketplace. That's the way we read
Wonderful.
it. if you ask me for a number for 24 or 25, I am extremely sorry. If I knew that answer, I wouldn't be sitting here in conversation. Had we
Absolutely.
already retired, and
Absolutely.
you know, that's that.
No, I think you have done a great job by setting the right expectation, because ultimately all investing, lots of psychological emotional aspects plays out, and rational expectation setting is one of the most important. And thank you so much for doing that. Now, Pasi, coming back to the point today, because it's so equally exciting point, exciting discussion. Now, what exactly mean by financial freedom when you talk about retiring with financial freedom? Is it like having lots of money, bungalows, cars, and lots of investment, lots of saving? What does it mean when you talk about financial freedom, Pesi?
So, for me, people often ask me that, I've been a sales guy almost all my
Yeah.
life. Out of the last 30 years, I've been in sales for the last probably 22 years, okay, of
Mm-hmm.
working life. And when asked if you were given 100 crores, what would you do? My
Mm.
answer is I'd still go to work
Mm.
for an organization, and I'd still
Mm.
be a salesman at my heart and in my profession. Because if you love what you do, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to work. You know, you're essentially going there to fulfill your passion. And
Mm-hmm.
in that sense, financial freedom or achievement does not necessarily and only mean having lots of money.
Mm.
But having said that, having said that, let me lay some context to this subject, and why and how it is important. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if you are able to see it in full screen mode. Has it come up?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So, you know, money is not everything. There are many things that play out in life. However, if I had to give this as an opening context, then here is what this wise man said: make sure
Mm-hmm.
you earn a lot of it before speaking such nonsense. Okay. So, for all the subject that I spoke to you of, passion and loving what I do and being a salesman at heart, the honest truth answer is I don't have that 100 crores. Okay. And I work for money, but I do what I love. And the reason that I celebrated my 50th birthday and still am working for money tells you the fact that I have not reached that state of nirvana where I can say money is not everything. So, as an opening remark for people, I definitely say that yes, do what you love,
Mm.
but financial pursuit, okay, for the very few, it appears leads to financial freedom. And we'll try and talk about what are the things that one can imbibe to be able to achieve this financial freedom. uh, I couldn't get it by 50, but
Mm.
I'm hoping that hearing this talk, many others that are in the age group of 25 or 30 will probably be able to get there by 50, or if not 50, at least by 60.
Okay. Okay. So now the next question is in the context of again retirement planning. How much money, as you said, yes, we have to follow a passion. I will continue following my passion. And uh, one of the biggest enemy of ours is currently is the inflation. All everywhere, food inflation, medical inflation, all kind of inflations are there. So how much money do I need at least at the age of 50, so that I can have a good amount of retirement corpus when I want to exclusively only follow my passion? Say that, okay, I
Sure.
don't want to work for passion anymore. I want to enjoy life. I want to follow my passion. So, how much do you think ideally you should have at the age of 50? And then,
Great.
Yeah.
So let me run this entire discussion with examples, okay, and
Okay.
real life
Yeah.
examples, okay. So let's take the example of somebody who's 30 years of age, says, "Ki,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, I'll retire at 60. Chalo." Now, if you're living in a town other than Mumbai or Delhi or Bangalore, probably 50,000 rupees is a fair amount of money to run your household expenses.
Mm-hmm.
If I take inflation at 60, at 6%, okay, this 50,000 rupees by the time you reach 60, okay,
Mm.
will jump to a monthly requirement of 2.8 lakhs,
Mm.
okay, and to support this expense of 2.8 lakhs per month, you'll need a corpus of about 5.7 crores. And
Mm.
here is the simple magic for somebody who's 30 years of age. An SIP of 16,000,
Mm.
an SIP of 16,300, initiated at the age of 30. If the market expectation is at 13%, and I'll clarify, and repeatedly you will see 13% being quoted by me, because 13% is the CAGR that the Nifty has given over the last 10 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken a reasonably long period of time and said, expect that much itself. You will reach your corpus of 5.7 crores, enough for you to retire and maintain the lifestyle that you're leading today at the age of 30 for running your household at least. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I mean, holidays, big purchases, and all of that is separate. But how simple or how difficult is it for every 30-year-old? This is how simple it can be. What we miss in our life is actually and only discipline, nothing
Mm-hmm.
else. Whether it's discipline of doing it every month, whether it's doing it in the correct asset class, very importantly, okay, and doing it for this long period of time in an unflinching manner. So, Neeraj, let me give you again my own
Mm-hmm.
example. I started working at the age of 20, way back in the year 1994. Okay. My
Mm-hmm.
first salary was about 4,200 rupees, from which I used to save 2,000 rupees. 50% of my salary I used to save at that point of time. Okay. But guess what? Nobody told me about equity markets and SIP being a great way to access it. So what did I do? I worked for a bank. And every month I used to place 2,000 rupees in a fixed deposit in the bank. Why? Because as an employee, I used to make 1% more than the deposit rate that was offered to other public.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my money went. And in those years of 1994, in the run up to say 2008, the market landed up giving more than 18 to 20% return in that period. And that's what I missed in terms of accumulation and power of compounding by putting my money in fixed deposits. Okay. So while this sounds simple and easy,
Mm-hmm.
I am giving you a prime example of myself, of how I simply missed the bus when I should have started early. And
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me what will allow me to get there, I think it's these three mantras that I may put up over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Neeraj, should I go ahead with these or?
Oh, yes, please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, the first thing I spoke about is begin early. And in my own example, I told you how I began early, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
choose the right asset class. I landed up putting money in fixed deposits. And what's the importance of beginning early? Okay. Let me elaborate that for somebody over here with this example. Say a guy at 30 starts with an SIP of 10,000 per month, which essentially means 1,20,000 per year, which means 36 lakhs over a period of 30 years.
Mm.
At 9% return, you'll land up with 1.83 crores at 11. And even if I go back to my anchor number of 13%, you would
Mm-hmm.
land up with 4.37 crores. Okay. Now, most 30-year-old
Mm.
people, 30, 32, 28, would be probably a parent or a very young parent having kids between 0 and 3 years of age. And while we are starting our own investment journey of SIP at age 30, you know what difference you can make if you actually started early in life? Take the same example and say a grandparent does it for a grandchild who is just born, or a parent does it for the child, and instead of starting at 30, builds a culture of SIP in their household. You know how we teach values to our children, right? Beta jhoot mat bolna,
mm,
बेटा कभी चोरी मत करना, बेटा अपने बड़ों का आदर्श करना,
mm.
बेटा अपनी एसआईपी कभी तोड़ना मत, should be in our value system that we teach
Yes.
at our home, because this is the power of what you can create if you start at birth and continue to 60. A 13% return for a 10,000 rupee SIP over a 60-year period translates into 215 crores. So for every 30-year-old that's listening to this call, you've seen at 13%, you'll just about get to 5 crores. But when you do that diligently for each of your kids and culturally teach them the benefit of investing and continuing it boringly for a long period of time, that's the corpus that you can create for yourself. Nobody taught this to me when I was probably 25 or 30. My parents didn't do it when I was born. And that's the reason why at 50, I do what I do. I do because I love what I do, but I still work for money. Okay. And that's the first mantra that I'd like to give everybody, which is begin early. If you're a grandparent or a parent listening on this call, please take a perspective of how it is different for your remaining
Mm,
working years versus when you do it for a grandchild or a child that's just born. And while you've seen one representation of cost of delay between a just born to a person who goes to work, let me show you a representation of what delay costs people in their working
mhm,
life. So Neeraj, even when we are 25, 30, there are so many
mm,
other, pressures that come on us that we'd like to spend money on. So many different attractions. If
mhm.
I take that same corpus of retirement that we started with, 5.7 crores, and the same return from the market that we expect, 13%, here's the mathematics. If someone starts at age 25, they
Mm,
actually need to invest only 8,800 a month.
mm,
But if they delay by 5 years, that per month contribution goes to 16,300. And what you will observe is that a delay of every 5 years essentially means you need to invest double the amount to reach the
mm,
same goal of 5.7 crores. So today, if Pacey is 50 years of age and didn't invest till now, and if I want to reach 5.7 between age 50 and 60, I'll have to put almost 2.5 lakh rupees per month at a 13% expectation to just reach that 5.7 crores. Because when I was 25, I didn't do this and didn't start with 8,800 rupees. Today, I have to begin with 2.5 lakhs to reach that same corpus. And that's what the cost of delay is for investors. And take this in another example, another simpler one. Ramesh
mm.
begins with a journey of just 9,000 bucks, 13%. For 35 years at 60, he will reach this 5.9 crore mark. But Suresh, under various social and financial pressures, only begins at age 45. Same market, but just because instead of 35 he's got 15 years, he will land up with a corpus of 43 lakhs versus 5.9 crores, a difference of 5.5 crores. And Suresh, like Pacey, says, oh, so what? I am now 50 years of age, but I am head of sales at UTI. How much did Ramesh invest? 37 lakhs? I will invest every month 20,000 rupees. I'll put in 36 lakhs of rupees. But because I don't have time for compounding on my money, I will still end up, despite doing more than double, at 1 crore. The gap between Ramesh and me is almost 5 crores. And that, I tell you, is the biggest learning in life that I can tell people is that if you haven't begun for yourself, you should do it today, because every 5 year delay to reach the same goal is going to cost you double. Second point is, if you've got kids, start for your kids here and now. Okay, put that away at the side and continue that and ensure you teach them about it through their lifetime. That's the way they will hit financial freedom way, way earlier than any of the previous generations that we can talk about. That's
Wonderful.
the cost of delay. Okay. The third concept that I'd like to put,
Mm.
okay, on the table is, we all work, right? Neeraj, you also
Mm.
have a job, and so do I. And typically, when March comes, we all go running to our bosses and say, hey, listen, I did such a great job this year. I need a big fat bonus. I need a very healthy increment, right? And say you deserved it and you got it. What's the first thing that you'll end up doing with it? All you'll end up doing is increasing your expenses, never your investments. There's a very convenient way, but more importantly, a very important principle of stepping up your investments, whether a predefined amount or percentage, okay, year on year, to keep aligned with your rising income levels.
Mm-hmm.
People make the mistake that when salary goes from say 1 lakh to 1 lakh 20,000 or 1 lakh 15,000, for the first 6 8 months they consume that additional 15,000 rupees without doing any additional investment from that, and then they realize that, oh my god, maybe I should start something, and will start with a paltry amount of additional 2 3 5,000 rupees. What's the big benefit of stepping up your investments? Let me elaborate again with an
Mm.
example. Say, I want to buy a house. Okay. I'm 30 years old. Uh, I'm living with my parents. But in 15 years from now, I'd like to have a house of my own, which is separate. Maybe or maybe not, I'll live over there. But it's a great
Mhm.
investment that I would make for that house. How do I get there? 25,000 a month, 3 lakhs a year, 15 years, you would have invested 45 lakhs of rupees. If the market still gave you that 13% return, you will get about 1.3 crores. What can you afford in 1.3 crores in a city like Bombay? Probably a 1 BHK in certain select parts of Bombay. In many other towns, definitely a 2 BHK, not necessarily in Bangalore or Delhi, but many other places you'll be able to afford that. Now, look at the power of what a step up does. A step up of 5,000 in that same journey will land you up with 2.55 crores. The difference of 1.17 crores is one extra bedroom in Mumbai or a second house in most other cities. In 2.55 crores in Bombay, in many parts, I'll be able to afford a two-bedroom apartment, and in almost every other city in the country, a three-bedroom apartment.
Mm.
Only difference was a regular SIP versus a step up SIP. And if that sounds theory, take a look at actual practical markets. The same example of 25,000 a month through a straight SIP between 2008 and 23 would have translated into 1.33 crores if you did an SIP in the Nifty itself.
Mhm.
Just for representation and example purposes, if you did this SIP in UTI FlexiCap, you would have landed up with 1.4 crores. But had you done this SIP with the step up that we spoke, this 1.4 crores would have become 2.77 crores. This 2.77 crores will give you a two bedroom in most parts of Bombay and a three bedroom in many parts of Bombay. And the difference between a two and a three bedroom was again without wasting time, auto enrolling yourself for this step up. And it doesn't have to be big goals only, even small goals. You say, I've got a budget of 10,000 rupees per month. I want to collect a crore in 15 years. Now, 10,000 a month means 18 lakhs over a period of 15 years. At 13% is only going to get you to 50 lakhs, 51.85 lakhs precisely. No matter what, you can't wish the market gave you more returns to build a bigger corpus. To get to 1 crore, you need to invest 20,000 a month. But you say, hey, listen, I don't have 20,000 a month. I can only do 10,000 a month as of today. The smart investor will do 10,000 a month, will up it by 2,000 every month, and look at the magic. The difference is the step up versus a 51, 52 lakhs. You reach your target of 1 crore, and the step up of 2,000 rupees does not even hurt you when you put yourself through that journey over that long period of time. But the joy of actually, you know, earning or reaching that goal that you want to comes through this entire subject of
Mm.
stepping up your investments before your expenses. So that's my three bits of gyan on beginning early. There's a big price you pay for delay, and end the journey. Just as your income rises, your investments have to auto rise. You cannot do it sporadically and lose time in such incremental investments.
I think, Pesi, what you have said today is something extremely important, that cultural and behavioral point, कि हम लोग को बच्चों को सिखाना है कि that we teach, ये सही है, ये खराब है जिंदगी में, एसआईपी नहीं तोड़ना है. And I think people are really appreciating it. तो काफी चंद्र प्रकाश मौर्य, he said, दस्तूर सर, इस साल में मिठाई मिलेगी काजू कतली वाली. ठीक है. सो ग्रेट. सो एनीवे, अगर आप लोग का कोई क्वेश्चन है व्यूअर्स, प्लीज फील फ्री, गो अहेड, टाइप योर क्वेश्चन इन द चैट बॉक्स, एंड दस्तूर सर वुड डेफिनेटली वुड लव टू आंसर इट. अच्छा, पैसी, वन मोर थिंग, like what you said is absolutely, I think, very powerful for somebody who has just started his career, somebody young age, and he can definitely, gain a lot of it. Now let's come to a little bit investment strategy. Agar if I'm somebody at 30, 35, or even 25, I'm going to do SIP for next 25, 30 years. किस तरीके का फंड, किस तरीके का इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी मुझे फॉलो करना चाहिए? दैट इज नंबर वन. एंड नंबर टू, अगर मैं ऑलरेडी 50 प्लस हो चुका हूँ, 60 ईयर्स में पहुंच चुका हूँ और वेरी नजदीक हूँ, तो किस तरीके का इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी मुझे फॉलो करना चाहिए? दो पार्ट है, पहला पार्ट बिगिनिंग में एंड सेकंड पार्ट टुवर्ड्स द आफ्टर 55, 50.
Sure, sure, sure. So, Neeraj, मेरा
हम्म.
मानना है कि in terms of wealth creation in the medium to long term,
हम्म.
there is no better liquid asset class than securities or financial markets.
हम्म.
As let's say real estate market created wealth. Oh yes, of course it has. But real estate cycles are extremely long. And the
हम्म.
problem with real estate is that to buy even one unit, you need a whole lot of money, okay, and all your investments to get there to buy that one unit of a residential, commercial, or industrial property, okay. And therefore, the journey is all about saying कि मेरे जैसे साधारण लोग जो
हम्म.
नौकरी करके मैंने पगार लेके जाते हैं घर पे,
हम्म.
वो बचत और निवेश कैसे कर सकते हैं. एंड टू दैट एक्सटेंट आई वुड से नथिंग बेटर देन फिनेंशियल मार्केट्स, विद इन दैट म्यूचुअल फंड का जो प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसके द्वारा आप निवेश कर सकते हो, जिसके द्वारा आप इक्विटी का एक्सपोजर ले सकते हो, उससे बेहतरीन कोई प्लेटफॉर्म हमारे जैसे रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए होता ही नहीं है।
हम्म
एंड तीसरी बात, विद इन फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स एंड इक्विटी मार्केट्स, आई थिंक हर इंसान को आपके पोर्टफोलियो में लार्ज कैप होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए, मिड कैप होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए, स्मॉल कैप हाँ जी जरूर होना चाहिए। कितने क्या मायने में होना चाहिए कैन बी डिसाइडेड बाय ईच इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंटली। पिछले 12 साल में, अगर वो स्लाइड नहीं है मेरे पास यहाँ पर अभी, बट
हम्म
पिछले 12 साल में अगर मैं एनालिसिस करूँ कि लार्ज कैप, मिड कैप, स्मॉल कैप में क्या अंतर रहा है, ये प्लीज जान लीजिए कि पिछले 12 साल में स्मॉल कैप फंड्स हैव डन वेल, डन द बेस्ट, और स्मॉल कैप मार्केट हैज डन बेस्ट 5 out of 12 years. Mid cap has done best 4 out of 12 years,
हम्म
and large cap has done 3 out of 12 years. और अगले साल जो आपने शुरुआत की थी ये कॉन्वर्सेशन में कि ये साल क्या सबसे बेहतरीन करेगा, किसी को पता नहीं है, बट बिकॉज विनर्स रोटेट, and every time the market will rotate from large cap to mid cap to small cap, from value to growth, from consumption to manufacturing, it is
हम्म
important to diversify your portfolio across these things. आपको
हम्म
ओवर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट जो आपका कोर पोर्टफोलियो आपको बनाना है, दैट कैन बी
हम्म
बिल्ट विद लार्ज, मिड एंड स्मॉल कैप
हम्म
फंड्स, और अ लार्ज एंड मिड कैप फंड, और अ फ्लेक्सी कैप फंड। आपका कोर पोर्टफोलियो हमेशा हमेशा ये फंड कैटेगरीज से बनता है।
हम्म
देन सैटेलाइट स्ट्रेटजीज आप जरूर अपना सकते हो। कोई कहता है कि अरे भाई ये वक्त पे बैंकिंग बहुत टाइम से अच्छा नहीं किया है, एक्सेलेंट, यू कैन बाय अ बैंकिंग रिलेटेड फंड, but it
हम्म
cannot be your core portfolio. It will be your satellite or ancillary investment strategy, which is tactical. वहां पर पैसा बन गया, आप वहां से वापस निकाल सकते हो।
हम्म
टेक अ लुक एट व्हाट हैपेंड विद इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की लहर चली थी 2004 से लेकर 9 तक,
हम्म
बट 2009 से लेकर 2021 तक infrastructure just did not work. There were so many
हम्म
companies that came in and became bankrupt and went out of business.
या
But as a theme, it just did not work till the last 18 months. और पिछले 18 महीने में इतना रिटर्न दिया है कि
हम्म
लास्ट 12 years 15-year return has got equated with the Nifty only because of the last 1.5 years. Now, this is what satellite strategies do. You can participate in, say, two wheelers and four wheelers, transportation as a concept.
हम्म
You can participate in consumption as a concept. जहाँ पर you can buy banks, or you can buy consumer companies like Hindustan Lever and Nestle's of the world, or you can participate in banking and financial services as a concept. But the answer to your first question is that as an investor, you have to diversify across the main large, mid, and small categories in your core portfolio, and then build tactically around it ancillary or satellite strategies that have
हम्म
not performed well. Investors tend to flock to only where returns are already made. कोई मजा नहीं
हम्म
है, जहां पैसा बन चुका, आप अगर वो ट्रेन में बहुत देरी से चढ़ते हो, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट अ लॉन्ग राइड ऑन दैट ट्रेन. You want to
हम्म
jump on a train which has not yet started from the platform, or has just about started moving, not one which has closed to or reached close to its destination. So that's the
वाह
answer to your first question.
हम्म
To your second question, कि भाई मैंने पूंजी जमा तो कर दी, अब क्या करूं? ओके, सो म्यूचुअल फंड और कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रेटजी हो, आप दो चीजों का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो। एक जो हम पॉपुलरली जानते हैं SIP. SIP इज
Mm-hmm.
अ ग्रेट वे कि हर महीने थोड़ा थोड़ा निवेश होते जाए और लंबे समय में जमा पूंजी
Mm.
बनती जाए।
Mm.
प्रश्न ये उठता है कि अच्छा, अब जमा पूंजी बन गई, वहां से अब क्या करना चाहिए?
Mm.
एक वक्त था जब एक सिंपल थंब रूल कहा जाता था फॉर एसेट एलोकेशन, कि आपकी उम्र जो है 100 के नंबर से माइनस कीजिए और
Mm.
जितना नंबर रह जाता है उतना पैसा आपका इक्विटी में लगना चाहिए। ओके, सो मान लो आई एम 100 years of age, आई एम 50 years of age, 100
Yes.
minus 50 is 50. The
Mm-hmm.
normal thought process would have said, okay, oh, you should only have 50% in equity. But at age 50, I can tell you that every rupee of mine that is
Mm.
available for investments in financial services or financial
Mm.
markets only goes into equity. Okay. Why? Because I truly believe in the potential of Indian economy, and I truly believe that markets will give you returns, a lot of it in 1 year, less of it in the next year. 2022 का साल देखोगे, निफ्टी ने सिर्फ 4% का रिटर्न दिया था। 2023 में निफ्टी gave 21% return. But the way I look at it, if I'm going to live till 70, in the next 20 years, I want my portfolio to grow with equity. Okay. At मान लो today, if I had a portfolio of 15 crores or 12 crores, purely equity, and I reach 70 years of age, what would my strategy be? Would I pull
Mm-hmm.
out money from the equity market and put it in a fixed deposit? मेरा नजरिया ये होता कि अगर
Mm.
मेरी महीने की जरूरत खर्चा के लिए 3 लाख रुपए है ना, I would do a systematic withdrawal plan from my mutual fund investments for 3 lakhs of rupees a month. Okay. And I will continue with my investments in equity and say कि
Mm.
भाई जब मैं नहीं रहा, this equity
Mm.
will transmit to the next generation, to my children or to my wife as
Mm.
my legacy, and they should be having an income. If it's my wife, she may not have an income, and she will continue to do what I did, and she will transmit it further to her children. Okay.
Wonderful.
This is again a simple example. हमने जब शुरुआत की, हमने बोला कि कॉर्पस चाहिए 5.75 crores to maintain
Mm.
an expense of 50,000 today. But in future, you will need about 2.8 lakhs a month. If today that time had come and the year was 2011, look at how the last 13 years journey has been. A
Mm-hmm.
5.75 crore कॉर्पस अगर हर महीने में 3 लाख रुपए निकालते जाऊं वहां से, ओके, आई वुड हैव विथड्रॉन 4.68 crores.
Mm.
But even today, my current corpus would be 10.66 crores of rupees, despite taking out 4.68 crores. क्या किया मैंने कुछ नहीं किए। मैंने मेरी जरूरत पूरी की। ओके। और जितनी जरूरत थी उतना पैसा निकाला, बाकी मैंने इक्विटी में पड़ा रहने दिया। And if I
Mm.
had to pass today, my wife would start with a corpus of 10.66 crores and continue a journey from there. So,
Mm-hmm.
my submission to many investors is that age is a factor, risk taking ability is a factor. I agree with both those factors. But when you have built a sufficiently large corpus in equity,
Mm.
it does not mean you have to shift out of equity. Eat from there
Mm.
your monthly expenses, let your equity grow in time. जब तक इक्विटी मार्केट का रिटर्न एक्सपेक्टेशन इज मच ग्रेटर देन योर inflation in lifestyle, you will be able to keep this corpus growing for the long term. That's the mantra
Wonderful.
that I put out to people, that are investing today or starting today in that sense.
Yes, Presi, actually, we are receiving lots of questions. Thank you, Padma, Tapash, Jeet, Dul. All of you are asking questions, Babu, Chandra Prakash. But, actually, Pesi is having a very, very tight and busy schedule. He have to go for a meeting. And in fact, I would like to thank Pesi for taking some time out And whatever you have shared today, I think it's going to go a long way in transforming the financial life of many of the young generation people, even people who are close to 50. I think Pessy will. We know that you are very very busy, and thank you so much for giving your time
Actually,
and
Neeraj,
sharing your wisdoms.
just for investors, I'm happy to take one or two questions either from you or anything that is most meaningful
Lovely,
that you see
lovely.
from there. I will
Yes.
cut in about 7 minutes from now at
Okay.
4:55 with your permission.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'll
Please.
take the question from Padma. Padma,
Yes.
she said, my child, age is 6 years. What would be a good amount for investment for her education and marriage? Can you please suggest me a good investment plan? So that's a question from Padma, I think.
So, I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this time. Okay.
It's already unshared. It's perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, my answer to Padma is simple. Padma, can you predict and tell me that your child is going to become a doctor, an engineer, or just a graduate, or not even a graduate, or will go to Harvard? You can't predict, right? Because time will tell where the 5 year old shapes up, right? But as a parent, what is most important is you have to provide for whatever is the capability of your child, correct? If that is
Hmm.
the case, then don't think about how much should I invest. Think about whatever I am able to invest, make sure you are doing that. That's the important thing. Okay. So if you say that, oh, I can invest 25,000 rupees a month, but Pacey said invest only 16,300 every month, so I'll only do 16,300, doesn't help. If
Yes.
I told you invest 25,000 and you tell me that, oh, I only have 15,000 to invest, so I will not invest at all. No, that's not the point. The big learning I can tell you, Padma, is to the best of your ability, please invest. Start today and increase your investment every month. Not a single rupee of yours will go wasted. Whatever is a spillover from the education will come into your retirement corpus. Think of it that way and maximize the investment that you can do.
Okay. Okay. We'll take one more question.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, I'll just trying to choose one. Okay. Take a question from Jeet Sarkar. He's asking, what is the percentage of investment on Sensex blue chip, mid and small cap? It's a technical question. So
So I think the question is trying to say what percentage of the Sensex comprises of blue chip,
no, no,
mid
no,
cap,
no,
and
no,
small cap companies? No.
no, no. In his portfolio, how much of his total investment or monthly investment should be divided between
Ah,
Nifty,
okay.
Sensex, Nifty, blue chips, mid and small cap?
Okay, okay, I got it. I got it.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you, here is my portfolio. Okay, I've got about 55% in large cap. I've got about 25% in mid cap, and I've got about 20% in small cap. So it's a 55-45 mix between
Mhm.
large, mid, small. Okay. Now, Jeet, does that help you in any manner? The answer is no. It doesn't help you.
Mhm.
Why? Because I benefited immensely in the last 2 years because small caps and mid caps have done well, but I was crying immensely because large caps haven't done well. If I go back to 2018, okay, mid
Mhm.
caps took a severe beating in that particular year. Okay, I was crying.
Mhm.
But I did not lose faith. I did not leave the markets. I didn't change my investments just because one segment gave more returns than the others. I have
Mhm.
kept my investments in this ratio for a very long period of time. And one segment does well, the other doesn't do well. I live with that journey happily. Okay. So there is no formula that I can tell you basis your age
Mhm.
or your risk appetite and tell you, oh, this is the only way to do it.
Mhm.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जीत इसका जवाब इतना ही है कि आपकी नींद कब खराब होती है अगर
Aha.
आपका पोर्टफोलियो 40% से गिर गया आपकी नींद खराब हो जाएगी अगर उसका आंसर yes है, then why would you want to spoil your health, okay, and taking that stress? Do what makes you comfortable, okay? 50, 20, 60, 20, 20, great portfolio. 65, 70, 20, 10, great portfolio. Nothing wrong with them. What's important is that you are across all three segments. That's very important. That's the answer that I'll give. I don't have a prescription that I can say कि नीरज आप भी और जीत आप भी दोनों यही करो जो मैंने किया, you know, 55 25 20 का combination. That's not true. It's just that I have the ability to sit when, you know, that 20% small cap has, you know, dropped by 30% also. I've sat through that pain. I have the ability to sit through that pain, and that decides how much should go to small cap. Nothing else.
Okay. Wonderful. I think Tapas, Niramay, Gautam, thank you so much. In fact, I will not take any questions anymore because Passy has got a very tight appointment now. But thank you so much, Passy, for sparing your time, giving your time. I'm sure people have really learned lots of wisdoms from lots of practical knowledge as to how to approach his investment, retirement planning, financial freedom. That's what we call. Thank you so much, Passy. And thanks all of viewers for being a part of this program. Thank you. Bye
My
bye.
absolute pleasure and great talking to everyone on the call here. Thank you very much,
Thank,
PTS. See you,
thank you, sir.
Neeraj.
Thank you.